So right over there is where we're coming down the hill. It comes down and around, down the hill. Powerhouse is going to be sitting down over here. And there's our pipe. Just delivered. So we got 3 grades of pipe, 125 psi, 160 psi, and 80 psi. The day that the pipe was delivered was a very, very wet day. It was the day that all of the floods happened on the eastern slope in Colorado. And the weather on the western slope was pretty wet that day too. We, as you can see, were fighting the mud just to get the pipe unloaded. But it was nothing to what they had out on the Front Range, which was torrential and historic. Yeah, it rained all night, really hard. And we ended up with a lot of water in this creek. We're using a laser level to be able to measure very exactly the fall for the pipeline at the intake here. This terrain in here for the diversion off the creek is really pretty bad terrain. Not a lot of dirt to dig in, and a lot of rock and humus and stuff, so we're probably going over ground on this portion of it. There's not going to be any pressure in it, and we're just trying to get it a nice even grade downhill to get the water from over there all the way around over into the meadow over there. We're coming over ground. We're not going to bury it because we don't have enough soil, but we'll tie it to trees and tree stumps here and lash it to trees, and where we can we will put in fence posts to hold it, and we're developing a nice smooth grade for it to fall with the backhoe here. Okay, so you can see we've got some fall going here. Coming down. Gonna go down to the meadow. There's Dale. So we're part way there. We're gonna put the weir in here, and then it's gonna run through here, through the woods a little bit. And it's gonna go down this little hill here, and we're gonna build a bridge that goes across all the way to the other side of the creek. We'll probably have some support points here, and then down, Dale's down there working on that. So with this laser device we can measure how far across to the other side of the creek, how much fall we've got over to there. Okay, so we got 2'3" of fall to that point. From over here where we're going to come out of the hillside. So we're going to build a bridge right across here. Have a couple supports. That'll be interesting. So I found some steel rope here. We're going to use that to build a bridge with. Kind of overkill on the loadout. So we're hand carrying all of this pipe up through the woods to get back into where the water comes from. Good job, Dale.
I made it.
We're going to cross the road with the transmission cable at this point here. And so we had the phone company come out and mark where their underground cable is so that we don't cut their cable when we cross the road. We're digging halfway through the road, putting the conduit in. It's down about 40 inches. We've boxed in the form for the foundation, the slab foundation for the hydro plant. And we've got it filled in with rebar and stone in preparation of pouring tomorrow. This frame is to support the turbine. And as you can see, we've got J-bolts that will go down into the concrete and a drain that will drain the room into the tail race. And the frame ties the generator to the turbine. There's going to be a motor mount here system so we can adjust the distance between the two sheaves, and then the water exits the side of the foundation outside.
Uh-oh.
We woke up in the morning to discover that it had snowed, and there was too much snow for the truck to be able to have traction down to where we wanted to put the concrete. So what we decided to do was to use the backhoe to shuttle the concrete over. We filled it up bucket by bucket into the bucket of the backhoe and then transported it over. It turned out to be a pretty good idea because we could have gotten the concrete truck stuck in the mud, and then we would have had to call a tow truck to take it out. So we transferred it over one by one and poured it into the forms. And as we pour it, you can see that there's a purpose for all this rock in here. It takes up a lot of space and means that we don't have to fill it in with concrete. So the rebar is in place to be able to provide extra support and strength to the concrete, and that's sort of normal construction methods. We used a vibrator to be able to take any voids out around the slab as we poured it. It took quite a time to lay all of this concrete down. It was probably 10 or 15 bucket loads from the backhoe of concrete to fill this thing up. And these are the fastest working guys in Colorado here. They did a really nice clean job putting this together. And once we were done with it, we ended up with a really nice clean slab with a frame for the turbine and motor mount. And once it's all done, we will remove the forms and backfill the slab and then put the powerhouse on top of it. This is a slab we're going to use to basically make a front porch step, and it'll sit by the front door. Making the form for the tail race out of particle board as opposed to plywood makes it far easier to remove. And once the concrete is cured, you can see we have a drain pipe to drain the powerhouse into the tail race.